All right, welcome back. Listen, people are getting fired. I've been wanting to talk about this for some time for celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I'm going to explain why that is a good thing and no, that is not a violation of your free speech rights. An ABC News reporter seems to be lusting after the murderer in the Charlie Kirk assassination. We'll get to that. Jeff Gray, the district attorney in Utah, announced the charges that will the charges against Tyler Robinson. We'll talk about that as well. Kash Patel and Adam Schiff go at it. Turns out the FBI was targeting TPUSA and Charlie Kirk amongst other conservative organizations. Pam Bundy, I hope she had a slip up when it comes to hate speech and free speech. We'll get into that. I think I know what she means. I hope this is what she means. Hopefully, it's going after these organizations that are literally hiring a bunch of nut jobs like Antifa to go across the country and and promote violence and exact violence on people. All of that and more in this on this particular podcast, on this particular episode, in this particular segment. I want to start with a cut that I just thought was absolutely. I know everybody's been talking about Pam Bundy. I'll get to that because that's very, 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 very important. I haven't opined on people getting fired, and a lot of people are out there. Oh my God, this is free speech. These people shouldn't be. This is censorship. This is cancel culture. It's nothing of the sort. So we'll break down some of the differences in that. Employers have I think, a duty to fire nut jobs that are celebrating murder because these people could be a danger to themselves, a danger to the company, and definitely a danger to their brand if you're thinking about profits, which every business does do. But Kash Patel and Adam Schiff sparred earlier today, and I absolutely love this. This is Senator Adam Schiff and Kash Patel going at it. And after that, I want to talk about how the FBI targeted Turning Point USA. Now, intuitively, I think any one of us that are conservative understand that this was going on. We all lived through the Biden administration, through the auto pen administration, where many of these people, as a matter of fact, Karine Jean-Pierre, Gabe's ex, admitted the other day that she was, the binder, as Jesse Waters from Fox News calls her, admits that she was getting a lot of her notes from staffers, from Biden staffers, not necessarily Biden himself. I mean, these people are a complete and utter disaster. But the auto pen ruled the day for the last, the 4 years prior to this latest Trump administration, and we all went through hell. We all lived through hell, and we all know it. I mean, from the COVID lockdowns, forcing people to get the jab, colluding with the big tech in order to censor Republicans, having the DOJ and the FBI go after people of faith, go after the religious community, the Catholics, go after pro-lifers. I mean, it was absolutely insane what we were witnessing. The left constantly talks about Donald Trump as a fascist, and I'm not saying that Biden was a fascist, but I am saying that the guy really skirted the line. He loved the power, or those around him loved the power. I suspect a lot of them did, where they just wanted to circumvent the rule of law. These were the people that often ignored a Supreme Court of the United States as well. Remember, the college loan situation. Supreme Court said, no, you can't do that. And Biden was like, screw you, we're going to do it anyway, and decided to run on stuff like that. That was as close as we've come in the United States, in my opinion, to an authoritarian style type government. But without any further ado, I want to play you this back and forth between Kash Patel and Adam Schiff. And then I want to talk to you about how the Biden administration, with Christopher Wray's help, sicked the FBI on Turning Point USA. Without any further ado, Gabe, let's go ahead and play cut number 37, por favor. And then again, this is Kash Patel and Adam Schiff going at it. Now, let me say this before you play 37, Gabe. A lot of people are frustrated and upset with Kash Patel. They thought he jumped the gun when it comes to this Charlie Kirk assassin. Obviously, you had this old man out there that even I posted. Forgive me, I was wrong. All right. So I posted that this guy was the shooter. We find out that this old man, pretended to be the shooter because he wanted to buy time for the assassin, This is how wicked and twisted this old man was. Frankly, he should go to jail for that alone, in my opinion. Come to find out, he had some kiddie porn on his phone when they investigated him. So he will be spending some time in a paddy wagon and hopefully in behind a cage. What a disgusting, evil, despicable old man. Man, you would think an old man, whenever you think of an old man, or at least I like to think of an old man, I like to think of an old man as a person with wisdom that's lived. Even if they've lived a rough life, they've got some wisdom to offer, but definitely not in this case. That's the left. Now, let me take you to this video. Again, this is cut number 37, Kash Patel and Adam Schiff going at it, and then I want to respond to it. Let's roll it, por favor, Gabe.
You clearly won't tell us the cabinet members associated with Mr. Epstein. Let me ask you one last question. And that is, right after she gives this testimony in front of an FBI agent, among others, she's transferred to a minimum security prison not suitable for a sex offender like herself. Who made that decision and why?
The Bureau of Prisons.
The Bureau of Decisions made it in
Prisons.
The Bureau of Prisons decided on their own, without any consultation with Blanche or anyone else, that they were going to suddenly, after this interview, completely unrelated to this interview, completely unrelated to anything she said, move her to a prison not suitable for a sex offender. You want the American people to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No. I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of inmates. What I am doing is protecting this country, providing historic reform, and combating the weaponization of intelligence by the likes of you. And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution and an utter coward.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised that you continue to lie from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take it to the bank that the FBI is protecting this country and the state and citizens of California. We are bringing historic reform. Point of order. But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat. And what did President Trump do? Bring new charges courageously. And what have we done?
Chairman,
you said I'm the most transparent FBI director in history. 33,000 pages of information to you. I challenge you to say anything credibly to the truth. Go ahead and run to the cameras where you want to go now.
All of you be quiet. Before I...
Kash Patel just earned his job back. So a lot of people were frustrated with Kash Patel. Again, as I was mentioning prior to the video, they felt like Kash Patel jumped the gun when it came to this shooter. Actually, I think he did the right thing. I think what he did, and it worked out, that he ended up smoking out Charlie Kirk's assassin. A lot of people were afraid, okay, he mentioned we got the shooter, that looked bad, and then it turned out not to be the guy. And then they mentioned that there was another guy that was in custody. And everybody, obviously, when you're a conservative, we had just witnessed a murder of our colleague here at the Salem Media Group live. And so a lot of people were just upset. And in the scheme of things, it only took 33 hours, in part due to the great work of the local law enforcement in Utah, but also with decisions that were made by Kash Patel. One of the things that the FBI were doing, and understandably so, because a lot of people were saying that there was some nefarious intent when it came to the FBI. But what I've read since is that basically the FBI was like, listen, they had the pictures of this murderer already, they had cleared up the grainy photos. Kash Patel wanted them out immediately. They had held on to him, I guess, 12 hours longer than he wanted to, because he said that because they were concerned that a flood of information would come in where they wouldn't be able to handle the information coming in. Kash Patel made the decision, get these photos out here as soon as possible. And quite frankly, it worked. His parents saw him. His father saw it. The people that were on the group chat or in that Discord chat app, if you will, with the murderer, they started they started smoking him out. Man, this guy looks like you, and he's joking around. This is my doppelganger. So Kash Patel made the right call. And again, what we saw with Adam Schiff is about show. This is what Kash Patel is exposing. This guy should be in jail. I hope the next time Kash Patel sees Adam Schiff, he's cuffing him, because this guy should be indicted. This guy is responsible for the Russia collusion hoax. He's responsible for, in part, the J6 lie and narrative that it was the most dangerous riot in American history and all this kind of nonsense. When we saw the BLM riots, when there have been other attacks on the Capitol by lefties, like the Weather Underground, that were far worse than January 6th. This guy is a showman. That's all he is. Kash Patel called him out. This guy is a fake. He's a fraud. He shouldn't be a senator. Good job, Kash Patel. You can stay in charge of the FBI, Kash Patel. You just got my permission. Can't wait till you indict Adam Schiff. Hey guys, Carl Jackson here for MyPillow. A major retail chain just canceled a massive order, leaving MyPillow with an overstock of classic MyPillows. Now it's your game. For a limited time, MyPillow is offering their entire classic collection at true wholesale prices. You get the standard MyPillow for just $17.98. If you want more, upgrade to queen size for only $22.98 or king size for $24.98. Snag body pillows for just $29.98. And versatile multi-use pillows for just $9.98. All you have to do is go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Carl, that is CARL, or call 800-858-0263. All right. Plus, when you order totals of $75 or more, you'll receive $100 in free digital gifts, no strings attached. That's right. Premium pillows at unbeatable prices and bonus gifts to top it all off. Don't wait. Head to mypillow.com right now or call 800-858-0263. And don't forget to use the promo code Carl, CARL, to grab your standard MyPillow for just $17.98. That is insane. Can't beat that with a bat. All right, now let me give you some information in lieu of that exchange. And there was another fiery exchange with Cory Booker. Oh, crazy eyes. These guys, not Adam Schiff, but Cory Booker, wanting to run for office, wanting to run for a higher office. That's what he's up to. But let me give you this. This is Hat Tip the Federalist. Before a left-wing assassin murdered Charlie Kirk, Chris Wray's FBI tried to destroy Turning Point USA. Now, this is stuff that I think intuitively conservatives knew was going on. All right, especially after, during the lockdowns, and then later on, after, thank God, Elon Musk purchased X and exposed all the dirt. This is purchasing X, in my opinion, is what turned Elon Musk around. Elon Musk, more to the left, and then libertarian. But after he purchased X and started seeing the dirt that the Democrat Party was doing, it's like he didn't want to be a part of that, and the left couldn't stand him. And if we're not for Elon Musk, you got to give the guy credit. Charlie Kirk deserves a lot of credit for bringing the youth to Trump and Trump himself. I mean, he's just such a big figure and a cultural icon that I think a lot of the youth were attracted to him regardless. However, Charlie Kirk getting into these schools, these college campuses, so on, et cetera, making the case, I really do believe that he helped bring Trump over the top. In the same way, Elon Musk was instrumental in purchasing X and restoring, if you will, free speech in America. I mean, I breathed a sigh of relief. I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to praise Elon Musk. I was never a fan of Elon Musk, quite frankly, until he purchased X. And then I realized, okay, this guy, whether I agree with his politics or not, he is a guy of conviction. He believes what he believes. And I certainly can appreciate that. Now, getting back to this column. So Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA, Hat Tip the Federalist, was on a short list of Republican groups targeted by Joe Biden's FBI under then a former director, Christopher Wray. So Senator Chuck Grassley, which you just saw on the video, dropped the bombshell earlier this week or today during the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing on the oversight of the FBI, which is what you just watched. And here's what he had to say. It's well understood. He was speaking to Kash Patel. It's well understood, and I quote, that your predecessor left you an FBI infected with politics, Grassley said. in his opening statement, and he was speaking directly to Kash Patel. He says, as proof, Grassley shared recently released records listing 92 targets the FBI was investigating or intending to investigate in a large scale. Multi-year political weaponization operation, excuse me, I chopped that up a lot, named Arctic Frost. That was a joint investigation that used resources from the FBI, from the DOJ, from the Office of Inspector General, the OIG. And then this witch hunt involved more than 150 interviews, over 400 subpoenas. Again, this was Operation Arctic Frost. So 150 interviews, 400 subpoenas, hundreds of witnesses, and search warrants for cell phones of high-level government officials, electronic devices, iCloud access, and email accounts. Carl, what's wrong with that? Well, let me finish up. Arctic Frost, a quote, was the FBI case opened and approved by anti-Trump FBI agent Timothy Thibault, not Tim Tebow, Timothy Thibault, or Thibault, Thibault. Arctic Frost became Jack Smith's. Remember him? He was the special prosecutor. Jack Smith's elector case against Trump. This according to Grassley. Grassley goes on, quote, these new records show that Arctic Frost was much broader than just an electoral matter. The case was expanded to Republican organizations. Some examples of the groups the Wray FBI sought to place under political investigation included the RNC. The FBI investigating the RNC, not the DNC, the RNC, Republican Attorneys General Association, and Trump political groups. Again, 92 Republican-linked targets that included Turning Point were placed under the investigative scope of the FBI in a project called Arctic Frost. In other words, Grassley says Arctic Frost wasn't just a case to politically investigate Trump. It was the vehicle by which partisan FBI agents and DOJ prosecutors could achieve their partisan ends and improperly investigate the entire Republican apparatus. Today, Grassley says, Senator Johnson and I are making these records public for the country to see, close quote. While the FBI, DOJ, and OIG, this isn't a quote, but this is the columnist of the Federalist, have been fighting crime, the Biden administration instead used their far-reaching government agencies to probe the finances of their political foes. Again, all of these groups were all Republicans. Man. So where was the probable cause to launch such investigations? The columnist asked. In addition to Turning Point USA or Turning Point Action, the list included numerous entities related to Trump. Some of them are MyPillow. All right. By the way, MyPillow, promo code Carl. All right, MyPillow.com. Women for America First, Conservative Partnership Institute, America First Policy Institute, Tea Party Express, Attorney Sidney Powell, Public Interest Legal Foundation, J. Christian Adams, our buddy there, and several entries listed simply as Giuliani, likely referencing Rudy Giuliani. This is what the FBI, under the leadership of the Autopin, because remember, it wasn't Joe Biden that was running this thing, not in totality anyway. The guy just had, his brain wasn't there. So these people used the FBI, and Christopher Wray went along willingly and sicked the FBI on the Republican Party, on the entire Republican apparatus, including Turning Point USA. Guys, if you don't understand or believe there's a deep state, I don't know what to tell you. Now, I got to go to this clip. This is clip number 38. Now, this has caused a lot of cause for concern in the way that it was worded. And Pam Bundy, and I think she's walked this back and try to correct it. But I want to make sure that I play it because I do think it is extremely important. I think she means something totally different. It's something that I heard Stephen Miller, and I should have grabbed that clip. Actually, we do have that clip, I believe. But anyway, we'll get to that a little later. But I believe it's something that I heard Stephen Miller talking about in his interview with J.D. Vance, as VP J.D. Vance sat in. on Charlie Kirk's show, or hosted Charlie Kirk's show yesterday. Man, it sounds so weird to say that. God bless you, man. Oh, I'm so saddened for Charlie's family. Just thinking about, you see these videos and it feels like he's still around. So man, just continue to pray, obviously, for his family, his wife, his children, his father, his mother and father, his sister, that are all obviously completely devastated over this loss. But let's go ahead and play Pam Bundy. I want to respond to this because this made this went viral. It was cause for concern for many conservatives. And then I'll explain what I believe, or at least I hope, Pam Bundy meant by this clip. Cut number 38.
There's free speech, and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people, so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you, if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything, and that's across the aisle.
Okay, I really let me just say this. I first off, I can't stand when people use the term hate speech. There's a lot of hateful things that are said. There's hateful things that are said to me. You guys should hear some of the abuse that I have to put up with Gabe in my ear. It's horrific. All right. But Gabe has free speech rights. I'm just kidding, sort of. All right. But no, we all have free speech rights. And living in the United States of America, what makes America exceptional is, frankly, you get to hear stuff that you don't agree with. You get to hear stuff that you don't like. So I hate using the term hate speech. There are hateful people that say hateful things, but we're not targeting hate speech. And I hope that's not what Pam Bondi intended. I mean, I believe she's already walked that back. But basically what they're talking about these organizations that the George Soroses of the world fund. I mean, how is it that you have these rent-a-mobs that will show up in BLM riots, for examples, and pallets of bricks that just show up on a corner just where they're needed to pelt the cops? You know what I'm saying? Or pelt people like Andy No. And by the way, I got to get to the list of people that are on the assassins list. There's more people that the left wants to be assassin. We'll get to that momentarily. But how is that possible? How is it possible that some of these protesters go from city to city to city to protest Donald Trump, or to protest for the left, or to protest against Trump, and often stir violence and chaos? There's some organizations, there's some funded organizations, we all know it, that are funding Antifa, that funded those BLM riots, the George Soroses of the world, that are funding chaos, causing violence, and those are the entities that we have to go after. That's what I believe Pam Bondi is talking about. She's not talking about free speech. She's not talking about hate speech, but she needs to clean up her language. Hey, Carl Jackson here. I'd like to take a moment to tell you something I'm really excited about, and it's more important today than ever before. It's called Freedom Chat, a next-generation messaging app designed for people who still believe privacy and free speech matters. The team just launched their alpha version. It's available today on both Android and iPhone, and I'd like you to download it right now. Unlike the so-called free apps that spy on you and sell your data, Freedom Chat was built with your privacy first. Your messages are end-to-end encrypted. They're not stored on servers, and even screenshots are blocked. No tracking, no mining, no listening in, just private communication the way it should be. And here's something I especially like. Freedom Chat has no ties to big tech. It's built by people that I trust, and you should too. I believe in it so much that I've created my own private channel inside Freedom Chat at Carl Jackson, which you can subscribe to. I'll share exclusive posts and content you won't find anywhere else. And the best part, no one can see what channels you follow on which posts you react to. It's your own secure, curated feed. So if you're ready for a messenger that actually reflects your values and keeps your conversations private, head over to freedomchat.com and download it today. That's freedomchat.com, where freedom still means something. All right, and welcome back to the Carl Jackson Show. I am joined by my next guest, Tanner Haas. He's with Freedom Chat. Tanner, welcome to the Carl Jackson Show. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, Carl.
Absolutely. And listen, I'm looking forward to these guys. They're going to be coming on board and helping to sponsor the program. But Tanner, I got to ask you, and I mentioned this to you offline. I mean, every once in a while you hear a name. And then I sit there and I wonder how people are going to look, how they're going to sound. And I think I hit it right on. I'm like, somebody that comes up with Freedom Chat with this type of technology. They're going to be, handsome, probably live in Silicon Valley. They're going to drive probably a BMW convertible, but they're going to be conservative. So that's pretty cool. How close am I, Tanner?
I don't drive a BMW. I got a Ford Raptor. I'm a truck guy.
Oh, man, I love it. I love it.
You will not find me living in California.
Okay.
But other than that, I think you hit it spot on.
All right, cool. I love it. All right, so talk to us about Freedom Chat. And frankly, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about your thoughts, because everybody has some on sadly, the assassination of our colleague here at Salem Radio Network, Salem Media Group, Charlie Kirk.
I mean, that's absolutely tragic. And it is a shame. I was looking forward to getting to know Charlie and work with him. He actually was excited about Freedom Chat. I never met him personally, but we've had discussions. I think he's a super bright guy, and I admire anybody that is always willing to speak their mind, no matter the consequences. And I really thought he was a bright guy. There's not a lot of people where you're like, wow, I believe with everything he says. He was very articulate. He could back up everything he said, and he stood firm, and I admire that.
He was definitely a man of courage. I got to tell you, I think it takes courage to build something like what you're building. Now, initially, when I heard of Freedom Chat, I assumed that Freedom Chat was probably this AI type thing. But if I'm looking on freedomchat.com, says say hello to Freedom Chat, a next generation messaging app that keeps your conversations actually private. No tracking, no screenshots, no linked devices, just total freedom and security, the way that it should be, end-to-end encryption, no storage of messages on the server, no commercial use or user data. Okay, so how did you build this? And then why did you decide to build this?
The why is a lot easier than the how.
Okay, that makes sense.
The why was, this has been in the works. It's not easy to build what we've built. If you look at some of the companies we're competing against, they received a lot more funding. They had some big tech backing, and they're definitely on the other end of the political spectrum. So I used to have a marketing and SEO company. We made websites, and we managed a bunch of conservative websites, actually.
Okay.
And I would go through and I was managing these websites, and a lot of the user comments, there was one common denominator, and they were very terrified about their privacy or lack thereof. Free speech is very important to them. So some of the comments would talk about iMessage not being private, WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram. And so I started to go down the rabbit hole, and I was like, well, what do you mean that iMessage does this, this, and this? What do you mean WhatsApp? And the more I read about it, the more infuriated I became.
Wow.
Which, it's just fake. They claim something, but if you actually dive into it, it's completely opposite of what they claim. So for me, it was, you know what? I don't think anybody's actually going to do this. I want to be able to message my wife. I want to be able to message my friend, business associate. Like if I want to send you a text message, Carl, that should be between you and I. Nobody under any circumstance should be able to read that message. So I think it's only going to continue to get worse. And it really was, you know what? Let's build an app for the people that care most about their privacy, which tends to be independents and conservatives. I'm definitely on the conservative spectrum. And let's make it the most private messaging app in the world, built from the ground up to address the weaknesses of these other apps. So, for example, end-to-end encryption. That used to have such a strong meaning. Now it's become so ambiguous. WhatsApp says they have end-to-end encryption. But where does it end? End-to-end encryption really is supposed to mean no one under any circumstance can see what you send other than the intended recipient. But now WhatsApp lets you report a user and they can see the 5 latest messages. And
really?
Come on. It's not really the 5 latest. It's all right. We'll see the whole conversation. I mean, it's insane. Telegram, which has this, I don't know how they did it. They have this aura of privacy, and this is saying something. They are less private than WhatsApp. They're horrific. Signal, which I hate the most, and I think it stems from my personal dislike of healthcare, which operates as a nonprofit, but wreaks havoc on just everyday individuals, bankrupting them. So Signal claims they're nonprofit, co-founded by the same guy that founded WhatsApp. Their chairwoman of the board is the CEO of NPR. NPR, yes, the same government-funded public radio that's facing massive cuts. There's a conflict of interest there. They support linked devices, which the Washington Examiner and New York Post has said is a security vulnerability. We don't support linked devices. So if you look at the how of Freedom Chat, we kind of looked at where is everybody else failing, and let's not do that. Storing messages on a server. Not only can that be a security vulnerability and open up a potential data breach, but it keeps your costs super high. So let's not store messages on a server. Everybody has commercial use of user data. Let's not have commercial use of user data. Let's protect it, and let's offer users a pay-for-privacy type business model. What is an easy way for somebody to have their conversation leaked? Well, it's to take screenshots. Okay, let's prevent screenshots entirely. So we really orchestrated this, created this from the ground up to address all these weak points, to ensure that every single message you send is only seen by its intended recipient. And that's what we've created with Freedom Chat, but we also took it a step farther and created channels, which is a new private form of social media. So, Carl, if you go create a Freedom Chat channel, your listeners can go subscribe to that channel, and you post, and it will come across to them like a text message would, so they can see all of your posts. It's just like a new form of social media. It's like a private, perfectly curated news feed without the nonsense, without the extracurricular data mining. So it's really a 2-in-1.
This is genius. Okay, so let me a couple of questions that I have for you. We just have 3 minutes left here. First off, I think this is perfect for people that really admire free speech, because I'm like, for one, I don't. Privacy is like a thing of the past, especially when it comes to the left, and frankly, a lot of people on the right. I can't stand the fact that I have to be on social media, Tanner, for what I do, obviously. But I'm not a big fan of it, and especially when it comes to like family and friends. I'd like to be as private as I can possibly be. It astonishes me that it seems like so many people don't even care about privacy nowadays. It seems like you thought differently. So I'd like for you to respond to that. And then also, obviously, there's going to be naysayers out there. We can look at what just happened with Charlie Kirk's assassin, quite frankly, and they were on this particular app trying to hide messages. What do you say to the people that are like, you guys are just, you have some type of evil intent in mind. You just want to, you're conspiring against the left or something, all this kind of nonsense. What do you say to those couple of things?
So Discord, which is what these individuals were messaging on, Discord is atrocious. They're disgusting. And why do I say that? They have no end-to-end encryption. They have no encryption at all in any way, shape, or form. So this is what's disgusting, is they can actually see every single message between every single individual. They say that on their privacy policy. And how do they defend this? They say it's our moral obligation. So I say, okay, well, it's your moral obligation. How did you miss this? How did you miss the Butler would-be assassin also messaged on Discord? Wow. There have been disgusting cases of child pornography, pedophilia. Like, Discord is disgusting. And why I say that, and they're also the same company that reimburses their employees for gender reassignment surgery. So to them, I'm like, they have a different narrative. They're disgusting. They can see every single message. Freedom Chat, we can't see anything that our users are sending. And we absolutely have no tolerance for anything illegal or anything like that. But I believe that it's better to give people their privacy than do it Discord does, and nobody has any privacy, but they don't even, are they ignorant to the fact something's going on their platform, or do they not care because it's, I mean, I tend to say they just don't care. So
Yeah.
we're different. We have, I think our values are in line.
Yep.
We deeply care about what we do. We do it for the right reasons. These other apps, just dig into them. Dig into Signal, WhatsApp, Telegram. I mean, it's not the type of person you want to go to a bar with and get to know. They're not people to trust. Or, yeah.
All right, so they're not who they claim to be. At freedomchat.com, Tanner Haas, if you're looking for privacy, if you're looking for true freedom, that is Freedom Chat, freedomchat.com, freedomchat.com, freedomchat.com.